Have you ever wanted to play WoW Hardcore? Well, here's my honest review on the game, so you don't have to spend hours trying, or maybe even dying. Watch through to the end to find out the truth, and if it's really worth it. Now, before we get started, World of Warcraft was released in November 2004, which makes the game pretty old. But in this case, old is very much gold, and if you're busy wanting to be a goblin or a gnome, gobbling up these coins, then this is definitely for you. Hardcore WoW has recently released in August 24th, 2023. Now let's not beat around the bush. Hardcore WoW is pretty damn hardcore. And we're not talking about the hardcore that you're thinking of. If you die, you have to delete. That's the main and only real rule that stands out. Now, Jesus Lord our Saviour, that is brutal. Because if you like being a blaster or even a pumper, then you'll know that in classic or vanilla WoW, leveling can be extremely slow and mobs or respawns can be pretty nasty and extremely unfortunate. The community seems to be doing extremely well and potentially is very much on the mend and growing because people actually have to be friendly again. Now, you don't have to be. You can go off and play solo and probably die in a cave somewhere. Or you can group up, say hi, actually have to engage with someone and be friendly. Now remember, it's near on impossible as modern day gaming has an extremely toxic culture as it's now built in or it's in gamers' blood. But it's getting a lot better and it's actually a really enjoyable leveling and farming experience because it's something you need to do. You have to be nice, you have to group up unless you want to die. Now the EU servers are limited to 2 servers. I am currently on Stitches, which has a fairly large queue time in the evenings. From around 5-6 o'clock, it's about 1,000 to 2,000 people, ranging from half an hour to an hour and a half. So with death being a permadeath on your current server, you're actually able to transfer the character over to a non-hardcore server, which means you can keep playing. And in my opinion, that's a pretty cool big W. In order to keep people from baiting in PvP, and you know, it's a long, annoying tradition in WoW, you will not get flagged for PvP and subject to being stun locked or slaughtered by a sneaky rogue, unless you go ahead and type /PvP in the chat box. You won't accidentally attack an opposing faction player unless you are flagged in advance. You also won't be able to train epic mobs such as Terramus the Devourer or Devilsaurus into low zones to kill the noobs. Blizzard knows and has seen that people have done that enough times and they're not fools. Meanwhile, to keep you in the open world dungeons, they've also introduced a 24-hour lock timer up to level 60. I think that's huge, personally. You can duel, but not like any other duel. You can duel to the death. I mean, who doesn't want to live dangerously, right? I sure don't. And I don't, especially whilst I'm playing a priest or having to spend hours or days leveling just to die to a sweaty rogue or a mage or a warrior or basically any other player that knows how to play their class. This duel to the death has a name, and I think it's called a Makara or Magara, not a clue. I keep hearing it thrown around in the streamosphere. Also, a final thing, there are no phases, so if you want to go all the way to Molten Core as fast as you can, amazing. If you survive, then again, huge W. No waiting around, no pissing around, straight to the top, because back in the day, Classic was hard, as we'd never played a game like WoW, but now Classic is easy because of the previous tough expansions and tough mechanisms, or if you've experienced Mythic Plus dungeons. I leave you with the end of the video. I just want to say thank you so much for watching, and I am absolutely in love with this hardcore World of Warcraft. It is huge, it is gripping, they have got some real win mechanics, and it really lured me back. So if you haven't had a chance to try it, I highly suggest getting your subscription back in order and playing the game, because it's always going to lure you back one way or another. You just never know how. Thanks for watching, guys.